I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be.
Hey kid, what time is that?
It's time to refresh.
Back once again with another episode of the It's Time to Refresh podcast. This is episode 54, I believe, if I remembered it rightly. And today we're doing a bit of a special recording here because we've got two people on the podcast today under the name of Nrg Trax. He's a fucking blew up off it like that. Is it a 20-year overnight success?
Yeah, that's it.
Formerly known as Rave Trax as well,
Trax,
and then you sort of
We can talk about the name change as well.
to some extent.
We get asked about it a lot. So
right. Oh well, we'll cover that, right? And what I'll put it out as a TikTok, and then no one will ever ask you again.
Yeah,
there you go.
Please do.
So, as I start every podcast, what did you have for tea last night?
What did I have last night? A burger, probably. I can't even remember.
You threw me off there.
Just look like
Macaroni.
I don't remember much beyond.
I had macaroni
an
and cheese. Mac and cheese I had. Done me there.
I'm usually quite prepared. I can't remember what I had. So, fucking hell. Oh fuck. I'll just leave it there. I'll come back to you later. I just asked that just as a little icebreaker for everyone. This is the first late. Well, I say late night. This is the first nighttime recording we've done. So it's the first time it's got the beers and that, and then it's the first time as well. The last time, sorry, we're going to be in here. So because the new studio is going to be open soon. So
What are you getting us to do?
well, I'm in the middle of building. That's why my hands are rotten. I've been sorting the roof and that out today.
Nice.
So what I do with everyone is I just sort of ask is how did it all begin? How did you meet? Sorry, I'll go right back. Who was the DJ out of you first?
Both at the
We're
same
both
time.
DJs, so it's kind of an interesting one because we've both been DJing like 20-ish years.
Yeah.
But not together. So we've just been like mates. It's really the reason this has came around is because we started making music together not even a year ago, so it's like June of last year.
Yeah.
So we're not even at a year yet. And that's kind of how it's came together. But individually before that, we had like fairly successful DJ careers, you know.
So what sort of like we'll go into it like, but from the beginning, where did you start out? Where did you get your first decks? What was the tunes?
The thing a lot of people don't know about me and him is there's a lot of similarities in our kind of like childhoods and stuff. So both of us were heavily into happy hardcore.
Yeah.
Like still are to be fair, and we both had like belt drive decks. Back when we started, obviously, it was making a lot of tapes and stuff like that. So I think the reason this works so well is because we've pretty much had the same progression, like to a point.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when I liked Scouse House like you, and he got into kind of electro house kind of stuff. But at the start, I was heavily influenced by happy hardcore, and as we see, I mean, we've got really good really good happy hardcore collections, stuff like that. So
do you still have the collections?
yeah. I've sold a lot of other records, but I wouldn't sell that kind of stuff. It's expensive, obviously, as well. But so we
must pay your mortgage off if you did though. Some of the
Defo, but
nowadays.
So we were really into that at the start. So and then as time progressed, obviously that kind of scene died out, and then when you became a DJ, you couldn't play happy hardcore then. Do you know what I mean? So there's like house and.
So when you were in, what was the scene like in Scotland for like happy hardcore? Because to me,
this is like the sort of mid-90s, you know. We're talking here. I mean, when we
so
were
it's like bouncy
teenagers.
techno and that as well. Because
obviously
so
Scott Brown. Obviously,
you
had Scott Brown, Ultimate Buzz. You know, a lot of that kind of
Mark Smith,
the Scottish bouncy techno scene. A lot of Dutch stuff.
Yeah.
The breakbeat hardcore of the kind of English scene didn't really take off. In Scotland as much.
More vocal and. More vocal and like kind of bonkers to a degree, but before that as well.
You know what McKenna is, don't you?
Yeah, obviously.
Scottish
he was massive around here for a while.
Well, Scottish bouncy techno, a lot of the stuff made by guys like Billy Reid and that, who were pretty big Scottish
queued up records and all that kind of stuff. So that's like
that rings a bell.
That's very
Massive
similar
label,
to what McKenna then became, you know.
So when you have started DJing, like where was the first place where you got a break? Was it a brand, a venue, or what was the?
God, when did I get a break?
Mine's was where I live. Is watching this. There's a place in Govan called the Richards Bar.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
So there's a place in Govan where I'm from, and the floor didn't have a carpet. It was painted
Excellent.
red.
Excellent.
I think it was painted red because then it's easy to clean the blood up. I'm being serious, man.
Yeah.
So that was that was my first ever gig in this place, and I was playing country and western and all that shit, and fucking can you swear on this, man?
Yeah.
Country and western and like Billy Ray Cyrus and all that.
Yeah.
And I was getting 50 quid a night for like playing 5 or 10 an hour.
Yeah.
But I didn't care because it was money to go and buy records.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd do that on a Friday, like 7 till 12, and then I got to record shop on a Saturday. So that was kind of my first gigs. But then it obviously it was quite the baptism was a fire because people in there at that pub are mental.
Yeah.
So it was good to deal with requests and crowds and stuff and playing to people rather than my room. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's a bit of a when you do. I'm not going to say that was commercial because it's obviously country and western stuff. But when you play non-rave music, it's quite an education to read a dance floor.
By far.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because
You're
I
not
find if
mixing
you play
really
one
with that
bad
stuff.
commercial record, you can completely lose a floor. Whereas
Yeah.
if you play a bad rave record, people are usually that fucked that you might
let
get
it
a few
go.
days
Yeah,
off, but you'll
yeah.
Probably
still
get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're in a commercial place and you play a record that doesn't go down well, like you'll know about it.
Because they're smaller venues as well, and it's like in a pub like that, like the music's so important to the night in it. Do you know what I mean? So like, I was playing like 80s stuff, and then the last hour I'd play I'd get to play like dancey stuff, but like Ian said, I wasn't mixing it for like 4 hours of the night. I was just like fuck.
Playing
stop,
on
aye,
a
do you know what I
Cam
mean?
Twin Deck CD player.
But where did you start? Do you remember?
I was like, I did youth clubs, discos and stuff at school, but it was all the happy hardcore stuff when I was at school. When I
Yeah.
left school, I worked in there's a seafront town in Scotland called Largs, and there was a little bar in there, so I worked for an agent. Same kind of wages as he got, like 40, 50 quid on a Friday night.
Yeah.
It was kind of like at the time, Diving Faces, remember that Liquid Child thing was out? No?
Doesn't ring a bell. That's
An old
all.
trance record, yeah. So that was quite popular.
Built.
It was a sort of pre-club, if you like, a pre-bar sort of place
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the club. So I played in there. Worked for an agency for a long time. Did mobile discos, birthday parties,
I've done
all
hundreds
that
of
kind of
them.
stuff. I've done all that
Man.
stuff. And then I stopped doing that and I went to work for an agent again and run about the late stage of the Clubland sound.
Yeah.
So that'd be maybe 2004 or 5.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he was into the scouse stuff, so the gigs I was getting was more kind of housey things, you know. So I was into like the Head Candy stuff and then
Yeah.
electro house, like Fede Grand and all that.
There was a lot of people when that era was about that it did sort of split off where
Big time.
We've only realised this that the 2 years have started here, went like this.
Then come back.
And actually, I was talking to a friend of his that he came along to our gig last night, and he was like, "I can't understand how I've not met you because we've always been in the same places at the same time,
yeah.
but for different reasons."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I was playing house, and his mate was playing hardstyle. He was playing scouse stuff. We're all aware of each other because Scotland's not that big, you know, especially DJs and stuff. You know of these people, but we've sort of ended up doing this and then
Sort
in
of.
the middle.
Everything goes full circle anyway. It's like, because obviously we'll probably talk a wee bit later, but this for me, what we're a part of now is like a modern version of the scouse scene to a degree.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So
Absolutely.
everything comes full circle, like, so like it's.
Do you know the phrase that Hannah coined was modern clubland? Hannah Lang coined the phrase modern clubland, and I thought you couldn't have hit the nail on the head.
That's
anymore.
exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
Well, that's how Clubland are selling out.
Yeah. Did you see them shows?
I went obviously with pals with Finchy, so
Yeah.
Finchy sorted us out. We went, me and Hannah went. It was, I didn't realise it was 14 over though. It's fucking bonkers. But it was 11,000 tickets they sold me, and the Hydro, which is one of the biggest now venues in Scotland. So, and
Amazing.
I thought that it would have been a wee bit an older crowd because of the music, but
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't.
They know it through their parents, though.
Exactly.
I've talked about this on the podcast before, many guests, right? It's, as you say, it's come full cycle because them kids now who are 14 to say 21, when the likes of Pretty Green Eyes and that came out, they were born there and their parents would have been going out then, and it's all sort of come a full circle.
Yeah.
And I seen a video yesterday of under 18s thing. It was the Rainton Arena. Did you see that? There was
No.
we are bounce or something. It was
Right.
there was a few names on it. And basically, I seen a remix of Miracle by Calvin Harris and I thought, that's all right.
Right.
But then I seen Nrg Set You Free, and there's young lasses in the crowd, about 10 years old, singing their
Word for
hearts
word.
out to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's like,
That's mad though.
I
Yeah.
think that song was out when I was 10.
I don't know,
It's like,
1992 or something.
that is something
The
like
original
that, aye.
press was,
Yeah.
and then it got repressed in '94, didn't it? With
Yeah.
It's a few represses.
Yeah.
I think, well, Pretty Green Eyes, does Pretty Green Eyes not turn 20-year-old this year or something?
It's 2003 that came out.
So that'd be right enough.
20
Yeah.
20 year ago, aye.
yeah.
Which is mad. And then obviously look at Mike now, fucking Camel Fat, like,
Yeah.
probably the biggest production duo in the fucking world, man.
He's the
I
best.
think
he's
he's
the
the-
best producer in the world.
He's the most influential to any sound in electronic dance music.
By far.
Aye.
Without a doubt, I rate him highly, but like he transformed the tech scene with Camel Fat, transformed the hardcore scene with Recon, transformed the bounce scene, and made the bounce scene what it is today.
He essentially is
Yeah.
the older stuff because he's so many different aliases.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Ferry Costin or Scouse.
Oh, yeah.
Now because Ferry Costin got so many aliases.
aliases,
It's like that shitty analogy, but you get the point. But it's so many. Either I think it's like 20 aliases or something. Like
Oh yeah, but the genre jumping is absolutely amazing. How he's, because some people they'll make it once in a certain style and they'll you see
Yeah,
now
so
like
true,
back to the '90s raves and it's like Snap and like they've
Yeah,
had
I know
their
that.
They've
hits
had
and-
their time and
Yeah.
never left, yeah.
Yeah, and
he
then-
just moved on all the time.
yeah, and he just reinvented himself.
He made
reinvented
a
himself.
song for
Neo.
Neo. Aye. I think
Number
he made
one.
that monster thing.
no, it was Let Me Love You.
Let Me Love You. So
Aye,
it
and
was.
he produced that.
Which tune's that?
Neo, the hip hop.
Oh yeah.
He produced that.
Oh yeah, I remember reading actually.
I think
a
he
while
produced something for Rihanna as well.
back. It's
think.
amazing, isn't it?
Aye, it's
It's something like MK17. He's got a credit.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Has he got a credit on that?
I'm sure he either produced it or was the engineer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it's
He's definitely one of the best of all time, mate. By far.
Yeah.
Oh,
by,
he's
by
like-
far. He's
Yeah.
one of my heroes, to be fair. I've met him a few times and it started. Like, I'm good pals with Redman.
yeah.
And he took me in now. I think he used to run my own mansion in Liverpool. And Ian's like, I was in Liverpool and he took me to the club and he came to pick me up and make the scars in the front seat. And I shat myself. He didn't tell me he was doing it right. And he
Yeah.
knows I'm a big fan. And Redman never told me. And I seen his car coming up to the hotel and I was like, "What's up, my mate? It's
Aye,
fucking."
That's Mike
I've
Aye.
shat myself, man.
Big high pitched voice. It's him.
Hi, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Lovely guy, though.
So yeah, when you sort of got on for the tangent there, but everyone loves Mike DeSalvo.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
so,
big
yeah.
fan for that tangent.
But yeah, so you sort of have started out. You were playing like sort of commercial gigs. That when was the first rave gig for either of yous? When was it? You sort of nightclub.
Well, I've as I say, I've worked basically for agencies, for
Yeah.
DJ agencies. So I've worked in student venues since
Yeah.
the last
15 years or
20,
something.
18 years, maybe nearly 20 years. So
Excellent.
worked in like really big venues.
How did you two meet then? What was the?
I have no idea. Probably stuff random Facebook.
Facebook, and then
Remember, you would add like just he's a DJ. I'll add him. If
Yeah.
you were a teacher, you wouldn't add another teacher. It would be weird.
But do you know what I
That's
think?
what LinkedIn's
DJs
for.
do that though.
Ah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think we've always had for each other? I was talking to my missus about this because I knew we were doing this. I think me and you have had this unconscious empathy for each other because see, being a resident DJ in a club in Glasgow or anywhere in the UK, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not. It's great fun and it's good money, obviously, and all that. But
It's not as
see
easy
doing
as
it.
people think.
See doing it week on week. It's tough
Burns you
because
out.
yeah,
Keeping it
you're
fresh.
dealing with drunk people every fucking week. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I love it, but it can be quite challenging. So I think there's been times when I've maybe put a wee moan on Facebook and you've laughed at it and I've laughed at you and that. And I think we've always had, and we agree on a lot of stuff. Like we rarely disagree, and we used to always talk about stuff. And it was like I think it's like I said, that unconscious empathy for each other. Like we're going through the same shit here. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people take resident DJing as just a way to get money to gamble on the horses or spend on drugs or whatever, you know. But it was kind of like a job for us, you know. So
Yeah.
A lot of people do it to gamble on themselves as well. So you go
Yeah.
out and you'll be a resident DJ in your local town on a Friday, Saturday night, or even like Thursday or Sunday sort of thing, and you use that money to put into maybe buy production gear, or a lot of people do that to try and live the dream essentially. But I know where you're coming from. I did a residency a few years back, and I would never do it. I've been off of residencies where it's a weekly club residency, and I've just been like, this would kill me now. I think.
See, I've got two, so like I do it full time. So when I'm not away with Ian, like we're in the middle of a 28-day tour now. We've done 10, we've got another 18 to go. But when I'm not away, I play in a place called Hummingbird in Glasgow, and I play in a place called the Autumn Ward. Two of them are really nice places, and these are probably two of the best residencies I've had. But previous ones I've had have been quite tough because of just dealing with people and stuff. And I think that there's been the odd time, not as much in recent years, but maybe a couple of years ago, I'd maybe a wee moan about it on Facebook, and you'd message me, go, fucking, I agree with you on that. Kind of, and it was just that kind of ongoing, like me and you're in the kind of same boat. Do you get what I mean? Because we could relate to each other quite a lot, I think, about stuff.
So you've met via music then? You weren't friends before it then?
100%.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we grew up in different places. Like I grew up like 30 miles away from him. So.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So we've been mates for about 15 years though.
About that.
So we've known each other a good long time, but the music thing, making music and stuff, only happened in June last year. So
Yeah. So sort of coming up to like 2010 onwards, then you're on completely different paths and that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you do anything? This sounds really. I'm not talking down or talking up to you or anything.
No.
Did you do anything notable in that time? Did you have any gigs where you were like, I'm proud of that I did that? Or...
Well, again, that's sort of saying, like, I did a lot of residency stuff, so I don't know if you're aware of, there's a website, it's like a record pool for DJs called themashup.co.uk,
Yeah.
so I work for the Mashup. So
All right.
I did a lot of, like, kind of viral videos, like 1 minute mashup things. I did a lot of that for a number of years. Not quite as far back as 2010 because the site didn't exist then, but as I say, I've just worked as a resident DJ for like 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And then just kept going, getting a bit more successful doing that kind of thing.
Is there any venues that's sort of notable rave venues that you've played at within, say, Scotland?
Now SWG3 we've done.
But he's a resident in a place called the Foo Bar, mate, which is one of the most iconic rave venues in Britain. Like, it's in the 90s and stuff. There was guys like Carl Cox, Lenny D, like, pretty much every big name in the 90s that played there back in the day and stuff like that.
It's an interesting venue because, like, the nights I work in there now, it's like just students, so it's a mixture of music.
Yeah.
Literally the day after, they can have a happy hardcore night, they can have a techno DJ in. It's an interesting venue because of where it sits as well. It sits kind of in central Scotland. It's massive. It's well noted for being.
I have heard of it, to be honest with you.
Unreal. What a great place to play as well.
It's fantastic.
We done back to back with Ben Helms on there, didn't we? It was really good, man.
Class.
I used to run my own nights, so I used to promote nights, and I done a night called On the House. When it started, I think it was about 2012. The EDM thing was kind of big.
Yeah.
But I'd booked, like, me and my two mates. One of my mates now works for Defected, but we booked like Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, Nicky Romero, Tristan Garner, Nari Milani, Michael Woods, like Sam Devine.
Oh, so you were digging into your pockets then?
yeah. But not really, because we made a wee bit on in the first one and just used that to book somebody else, book Sam Devine, Hector Couto, Frankie Rizzardo. Funny story, my mate, who Andy Rayside, who works, he's the Defected's head booker now.
Yeah.
He booked Sam Devine. They got really pally. He then worked at Defected, and she then was at a different agency, and she moved back to, I think it's Colluded Talent. She moved back because of him, so he's now her agent.
Excellent.
Aye, man. So she's busy, so he's doing no bad at that. So we ran nights for years, man, in a club called Orchestra in Glasgow. So we done that for about 2012. Yeah. And I was DJing at that, so I done that, and then on the back of that, I was getting quite big gigs at there's a place in Glasgow called the Arches. It's closed now, but
legendary venue that as well. By the way.
Man.
When I say have you played at a legendary venue, if you said the Arches, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I played there about 10 times before it shut, so I was in there quite a lot, and because I ran my night with my mates and it was going quite well, like we'd get gigs in the back of that and stuff like that. So I'd done that for a good while, and then after that kind of died down, I started playing disco music and edits and house and stuff, which I still do now. So I play a lot of like Late Night Tough Guy. You heard of him?
Rings a bell. I think we had a lad called Chris Lockie on the podcast not so long ago. He's a big disco edit, and I'm sure he dropped a name. Oh,
he's amazing, mate. He does really cool
He's
edits.
the number one for that sound, really.
The best, mate. So I get really into that. Like, I got into it because I went to Ibiza one time with Glitterbox, and it just started, and I seen Late Night Tough Guy and Joey Negro and all that. Well, Dave Lee's cult now in it, but all that kind of stuff, and I was like, I love this shit. And because you're playing in a bar, I used to play bars at the time. You can't really play like tech house in a bar like at the start. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, this is the perfect kind of stuff to play like between.
It's really uplifting, isn't it? It's like really like
nice,
happy,
mate. Like 115 BPM kind of stuff.
Venues for that kind of thing.
I love it, mate. Like Hummingbird, where I play now, I'll play that from about. I do like 5 or sets in there, so I'll do that from about 7 to about 9:30, 10, and the last 2 I'll maybe play a bit chunky house and stuff. But
do you know what I've just realised actually? And see, like what we're doing, people go and do that, and that's their only thing. But we're still doing like resident DJ
Club
gigs,
gigs and
normal
Yeah, exactly.
club gigs, you know.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear it when you said that. I was
Aye.
like, wow. must
I've
be
just
busy.
realised that.
But I like it though.
Aye.
I look forward to it more now because I'm not doing like all this kind of like being away and all that because we're away quite
Yeah.
a lot. Like, do you mean we're away pretty much every weekend,
Yeah.
or every second weekend, one day at the weekend. So I like getting back there and
See,
doing different stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I did say earlier though, didn't I? I wouldn't take on a residency again. I would do a residency if it was like a once a month thing.
Yeah.
Because I love DJing, I love going to different places and stuff like that. But the monotonous feeling of doing a weekly thing, and I think that's why you're enjoying it more now because that
100%.
breakaway,
Yeah.
it's like I miss this. Like, and
I
then
was
when
there-
you get, you
Well, I
look
gave
forward
up
to
my
coming back.
Saturday residency to do this, you know, but I've
Yeah.
still got my Thursday. I'm
Yeah.
still doing
I was in my
Thursday.
residency yesterday for a couple of hours. Went like done like 7 till 9:30, and my mate done the rest, and then he picked us up and we went to SWG3. But I like the kind of I've said to them because they're I'm quite lucky. The managers I've got are really good, and they're like, look, we're really happy for you. You deserve what's happening. Like it's so good to see. But I said, well, look, I promise I'll kind of dip my toe in as much as I can whilst I'm there. If I'm in Glasgow and I can do an hour or a couple of hours, I'll come and do
Yeah,
it.
come and do it.
So
Excellent.
and you're happy with that, so I'm happy with that.
That is good, excellent. So we'll get on to the start of how you sort of got met again on your paths and started this. We, as I say, we talked briefly about it in the car.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who'll be watching this will be wondering. So
Where did you come from?
go on. Where does it? What's the story?
Well, I think we need to talk about the Airwolf Paradise remix. I think that's, you know, we had both myself and Neil we'd always been saying for a number of years, I think Neil mentioned this earlier, we actually worked in the same club together for a period of time.
Yeah.
And which was probably going back nearly 5 years now.
Probably
But
longer
we
than that,
spoke
mate.
even from then,
Yeah.
we'll get together, make some music, you know,
Yeah.
and that never happened.
But then, to be
Life
fair,
gets in the way.
lockdown got in the way.
Yeah, that got in the way. And we only started sitting down together
June,
maybe about
June.
May-ish last year, and we were making some house stuff. Kind of
Which
techno
one of you
stuff.
made the conscious effort of going? So we're gonna.
Me.
So you've reached out to him and said,
Yeah.
right, are we gonna do this?
Get over to my house now.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did actually. I'll give you that. He didn't ask me. He told me.
Can't remember. I think because I keep my voice notes and stuff. I think there's a voice note from you to me, whatever it was, you know, nearly a year ago, and I said, "Well, get down here then." Do you know?
Did he?
What I mean?
Like,
Like, you literally live 10 minutes away. You go over here.
Yeah.
I know. And then I was like, "Fucking hell, you live so close."
Aye.
That was kind of like, "Fuck it, I'll get a taxi down, man."
Yeah.
And that was it.
So we'd started making some house stuff.
Which is class. We need to do something with it.
We'll
It's really
repurpose
nice, mate. We'll send you over.
and then this is what we're talking about in the way here.
Yeah.
So obviously everybody knows, you know, what Patrick Topping was doing last year. He's playing loads of old Scouse House stuff. He was
Yeah.
playing. The end of his sets were always really, really fast.
Yeah.
And having come for that scene, you know, particularly Neil more so than myself, but we come for the early days of that.
Yeah.
And we're like, why is he playing like old Blue Records, Dutch stuff? What the fuck is going on
Like
here?
the stuff in that Rob Kane mix, you're listening to kind of the
Yeah.
Dutch house stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what is
that.
going on?
That
here?
that is the golden era
So
for
class,
me.
mate.
it's so
I hold it
Aye.
so close to my heart. Like we were talking when we were coming here, like clubheads. Like the clubheads are the pinnacle for me. Like, and I don't mind saying this on a podcast as well. I'm not a massive fan of some of the stuff they're doing now. But some of them, because
Some
they
of
release
it's
the
good, though.
EPs, some of it is really, really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And it gives me that feeling of like,
Even then, though, they used to make kind of mad speed garage stuff as well.
Yeah,
I was not
yeah,
overly
yeah,
keen on
They've
that.
always done that B-side
Yeah.
stuff. They've always
Yeah.
done that.
I know on a couple of the releases, the actual club mixes were the B sides, and it was the speed garage that was the A side,
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
right.
like that. And so for me, that era is the
it's
golden
unreal,
era.
aye.
It's like Club Caviar, sort of club heads, even like over this end of the see when it's like the early tidy stuff, like tidy tracks, nucleus, stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's that stuff. Nice
The
heavy kick
golden
drum,
years really into it.
140 BPM, offbeat bass.
It's proper club
and
music.
you've got me.
It's
That's
proper
it.
club
Yeah.
music, mate. That's what for me, because there's a club in Glasgow called Bonkers, which is fucking,
That was synonymous with that sound, really.
and that's
Yeah.
that's all they played most of the night was that kind of 140 stuff, like the club heads and DJ John and
Class.
Digi White stuff and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and Hyper Logic, Only Me, and Rank One as well. Though they play kind of the trance stuff as well. With
Yeah, I blend the trancy stuff in
because
mine
it's
as well.
a similar BPM.
Yeah.
So aye, so we were heavily influenced by that. So when Ian was saying there, like when we seen Top and doing all this kind of, I was like, and it kind of we both went, we need to do something. We kind of patched all
If I
the
had my laptop with me, I'd have let you hear the original version that we had done of Airwolf Paradise's Don't Hurt Me Baby was, heard of Fisher, James
Yeah.
kind of that kind of vibe.
Right.
And then on a journey over to his house this time, it was like, nah, we need to do something a bit more
Yeah.
different here, and that's where
That
where
came
it came
from.
out. It's a one day thing.
So
Aye.
what was the process of this? Because did you just bootleg it at first? Did you just put a, was it
Basically,
done
just
for-
ripped the original record apart. There's loads of really good AI stuff. You know, any
Yeah.
geeky producers
Yeah.
will be aware of the different websites you can get. You can
Yeah.
rip records apart into almost as if the producer had sent you the stems. You
Yeah,
can get
some
things
of
right
them
down.
are terrible, but some of them are.
Yeah.
A lot of it's you can, and the thing is, if you listen to the original record, a lot of it's fairly obvious sounds, especially when you hear it separated as well as
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
these sites can do it. So Nexus is a great synth.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get a clean enough part out of the original song, you can hear what it is. You can find a sound on Nexus that will be pretty close to it,
Yeah.
and you can just replay it. Then, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So basically,
So-
rebuilt the record almost.
So when you did it, I'm proper like digging into this
Dig in.
here, and if you don't need to answer, if you don't want to.
No.
So you did this and you sent it off. We'll get into that story in a minute, but since then, have you got the stems back and it's been redone?
No.
Wow, that is interesting. That like, so you're still using the original
Just
AI
the original
vocal.
bits that's ripped out.
Well,
the original
Fantastic, I love it.
we
I think-
actually
see, because it's so raw sounding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's
but
it.
we found one of the vocals on a website. I think it was Splice or something. One of the vocals was on there.
Yeah,
I found it.
Oh,
Remember?
there is part of it.
I think one or two of the vocals were on there.
The Get Down things on
Die.
Yeah.
We just searched for it
right.
on Splice. and we
So
found
that,
it.
okay, that makes it more sense then.
But the
I was
stems
thinking
are
if you
like-
just like pulled off the full track and then do you know what I
There's
mean?
can, there's a site, there's various ones. Every day this stuff's getting more and more clever. Even I'm
Yeah,
blown
it's
away by
very
it.
Scary,
smart.
innit? Scary, innit?
Have you not heard?
Rihanna thing?
I've just nearly said that out loud, but I didn't mean. I wasn't going to say anything. Have you heard Biggie Smalls do that song in Paris by ER?
Yeah.
I just nearly said that on the thing. There. I'm so sorry, but it's I don't know what the clean term of it is.
There
but-
isn't one, mate.
Fellas in Paris.
Fellas in Paris, yeah, that's what it's called.
Nice people.
Yeah, fellas. Well, fellas in Paris. AI's generated
Recreated that, but it's
Biggie's.
Biggie Smalls.
It's so clever.
Somebody's done Rihanna with Rhythm of the Night.
Yeah, I know, and
just seen that today.
Kurt Cobain as well. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, what is?"
That's creepy, innit?
Yeah,
though?
it
It's
is.
creepy, innit?
Dangerous.
I don't know if we're at the stage where AI can make songs for us yet. Probably are, and I just haven't noticed. But
Yeah,
there's things that you can do today that even looking back 6 months ago.
You probably.
I've thought that as well.
I've ripped
Yeah, yeah.
acapellas in the
Yeah.
last week
That,
that 6 months ago were okay-ish, but now they're almost
the AI is
studio quality.
much better now than it was a year ago.
far.
There's like vocal remover.
Vocal remover,
and
la la
AI
la,
la la,
AI
yeah.
and stuff, yeah.
And like, but 6 months ago there was loads of like airy reverbed sounds within
Yeah.
it.
You would get a percentage of a usable thing, but it was
Yeah.
still a bit rough around it. Now it's almost
so good,
crystal
yeah.
clean.
So good. So yeah, you've got. Sorry, I've went off on one again. But you've got together, and then we're over, and you said you need to sort of speed it up. What happened from there then?
So then
Wait
we.
to that.
Well, it was your idea about the offbeat bass, I think.
Hmm.
I think it was you that said, look, because we'd done it before and it was just kind of like a kick and bass, but it wasn't. Like, no, Gemo does this thing, the car test, so we'll do something in my house and he'll listen to the car on the way home and then
Yeah.
he'll phone me the next day, he'll send me.
Basically, I spend that much
Voice
time in my
notes.
car that I use the car to do mixdowns, and I'm not even lying
He
here.
mastered stuff.
Don't
in his
Hurt Me
car.
Baby, Rock the Party, and the remix of York, The Awakening that we done
Yeah.
were mastered using the aux cable in my car stereo, and I'm not even kidding. And I apologise sincerely to Ministry of Sound who probably don't know that. But they were
care.
mixed and mastered in my car. Because I know the car sound system that well that I know how to translate it from there to other
I
systems.
car test band. Like, I mean, I'd get to like. So what I'll do is I'll produce a track, and I'll be like, version 1. I think this sounds class. This is it. Version 1, first time. Get in the car.
Yeah.
I'll go and pick my little ladder.
You
from
want to
Skills
smash
or
your
whatever,
laptop up.
and it's like, fuck you. You
Yeah.
hear something, and it's like the car
See
test is so valuable.
That was when I've been making music now for about maybe 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated. I lived in a flat. And the car was quite far away from the flat.
Yeah.
For me to go down to the car test was annoying. And the brainwave was, if I'm trying to get it to sound good in the car, why don't I just mix the thing in the car? Which is why the aux cable thing came into it. That was a different car, but I've just kept that same analogy now that I'm just that used to how the car sounds that I'm like, well, we'll just balance it in there.
On average, how many versions do you do when? I've just done a tune today.
This latest tune that we're working on, there's 10 versions so far, and it's all down to the kick and bass not being right. Every one of them.
I'm doing a tune today, a remake of a classic with do you know John G?
Yeah, he did the Italian dance forums.
Yeah. That's John. So I do a thing called Manic with him, and it's just basically we've got a passion for like the old trance stuff and basically just try and make it into the more bouncier sort of stuff now. I've actually sent you some stuff over on the email.
You did actually. I'm not. Sorry, I'm not even looked at it, man. Sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
So we at the minute we're just remaking a couple of classics.
Send them over. I will check them.
And I sent him a version of the track today, and I think we're on like V34, and I'm just like, I hope this is the one.
I bet all you've ever done is change the hi-hat or turn the down.
Every time. We get like
Do you know the only good thing about keeping the different versions? It doesn't really take up any extra space as such, but if you get so far into something and then you think, do you know what, I actually preferred it when the kick was louder, you can go back.
It's just find and remember which version it was.
Label that. Kick louder, hi-hat.
Coming for you?
Yeah. Projects are a disaster.
He calls these songs sometimes like the strangest name. Then we can't find them. Then we can't find them.
Run my hands over the keyboard.
Excellent. So you did this tune. You've sent it off to, because obviously you were saying in the car, the only people who could release this was
Ministry. And
well, the idea really wasn't to get it released because
definitely just get it played.
There's a DJ in Scotland called George Bowie.
GBX.
The GBX, right? So the GBX show is massive, right? So to get a tune played on the GBX is a bit of clout amongst your mates, particularly being Scottish, right? Yeah. And that was always the intention. We thought, fuck it, we'll make this and Bowie will play it.
But it was also to get Patrick to play it.
Well, there was always the inkling to get him to play, but you never know what's going to happen.
Might never even read the email sort of thing.
You never know. You send them away. You don't know. We know nothing about nothing at this point, you know. So we sent it away and he loved it.
I get excited about label rejections just because they got back to you. Never mind.
Because I've listened to it.
See, getting a label you imagine being a label, right? How much stuff you get sent.
A big
Tool
label
Room Records,
well,
I think they get something like 300 emails a day.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Track must get more than that.
Probably get more than that now.
There's a bit. They are like.
They're the one everybody wants on, mate. Yeah. They're the one everybody wants on.
They're the hot topic at the minute, aren't they?
Yes.
By far. And do you know what? Like, we've dealt with a lot of labels, a good few labels over the last couple of months. They're fucking amazing. Everything about them, mate. Like,
very well organised.
Everything they've got a full team, mate. It's not just him. It's like they've got a full team, label manager. Like, they're so professional, aren't they? Like, the way they deal with us.
As well,
not implying that anybody else is not professional.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Like Armada's been good, Ministry's been good, but we've obviously got 2 songs on track. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we've dealt with them a bit better, a bit longer.
Yeah.
And they said, like, even things like they send you a PR update every week.
That's good.
Every week, so they go, you've been added to this radio playlist.
Excellent.
This DJ is playing it, and you get your feedback every week. You get media cuttings from magazines. They send you everything.
Fantastic.
It's so good, mate, honestly. And Patrick as well is class. He talks to us all the time, doesn't he? Like, we
he's a normal guy, really.
We speak to him. He's through the 2 releases. He spoke to us so much. Like, he makes so much time for everybody, man. Like, you feel really a part of it. Like, the trick.
Oh, it is, Community.
You feel a part of it. You feel a part of it because he's. And it's nice when he's sharing your stuff and posting, but he messages all the time as well. And even Haley was messaging us saying that Rocky Parties is our favourite song, own track and stuff like that. It's class, excellent. Man. So it's a really polished job in it of a label.
Is,
like just about it, man.
Yeah,
the way they do the contracts, even I think we're just very quick,
very
to the
smooth,
point.
And somebody is always available to talk to you. And
so the name change as well as a fucking ball, like, and the way
we'll get into that.
but the way they dealt with it was unreal. Like, they changed it on Spotify, Beatport within a day.
Excellent.
So
go on then, we'll ask you now, why did you change from Rave Trax to Nrg Trax? There you go.
It's Nrg Trax.
Nrg Trax,
It's Nrg Trax, aye.
Sorry.
No,
basically, the name Rave Trax, the way it was spelled, the way we spelt it was rave, the word rave, and then tracks, a separate word, Trax.
Yeah.
And we searched that.
Googled
Nobody
it.
had it.
Yeah.
Checked on
Checked
Discogs.
Discogs.
Yeah.
Definitely nobody's got it.
So this is at the point where
This is the point. So
you've done the
we've done the
bootleg.
This is the
remix.
inception of
This is
the
the inception
artist
of
name,
it,
if you
yeah.
want to call it that. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, this name is too good. Somebody must have it. No, nobody's got it.
Right.
Carry on. It's away. When we made Rock the Party, which would be when it was starting to come out. It came out in January.
but it was, don't know.
There was I don't know if I mentioned the guy's name, but there was a pretty major artist.
I think we can just say it.
Can we say it now because he's got records out now, isn't
Yeah.
he? Well, Alan Fitzpatrick, who's a massive
said
techno
it,
DJ.
Not me.
A massive techno DJ has used the alias, which is said Rave Trax, but it's not spelled the same
It's
as ours.
Rave
Right.
TRX.
Yeah,
Okay.
all one word, which you're not going to search.
Okay.
So
Why would you search that?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
Alan had came forward and said, to Trick and said, look, I see you're putting out releases by this act, Rave Trax.
Yeah.
You're probably not aware. I've got this name, blah blah blah, and he was bringing some more music out this year, which is the now.
he
Actually,
is
he's got
doing,
records
to be
out,
Yeah.
and he said, look, it's kind of up to yourselves and the guys, but this might cause an issue.
Later down the line.
To be fair, it might have done, it might not have done. So he's making kind of like 90s jungle
Like
drum and bass
breakbeat
stuff.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
The good thing is that you haven't done this alias and you haven't got big in Scotland for 5 to
Do you know
10
what I mean?
years.
That we
Yeah.
sat and thought about it, and it's a bit gutting at first. You know what I mean? Because we did a lot of research. Both of us spent a good few days, maybe
Remember
up to a week.
that day we sat for like hours?
Aye.
Checked everything, man. Like, we checked every website, not man. Like,
Yeah.
It's just unlucky. The spelling, there was no way I would have looked at the
why
spelling.
would you miss
of that.
one letter out and like Patrick emailed us and they taught the subject was Alan Fitzpatrick. And I was like, I got excited. I was like, maybe he wants to remix one of your tunes.
Yeah.
No. I was like, fucking hell, right?
Yeah.
And so it come up and I was like, whoa. And then I read it and I was fucking gutted. I had COVID at the time, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, Game, I need to phone fucking Game. I was like, Game, man. He's like, what's wrong? And I was like, he's like, you feel right? You still there? I said, no, fuck that. I says, we need to change your name. He's like, what? And I was like,
That's right.
then I told him, and we were like we were relatively new at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, let's just do it. Let's just change. And I think, I'm not just saying this, and you'll say
I
the
think it's
same.
better now.
I was going
By
to say,
far.
I think it's more
It's
more identifiable
That's
as well.
got more longevity.
then just
you know.
rave music, so we can we can do
If
like
things slow
house
down a
or-
little bit,
yeah,
or
exactly.
speed up a little bit, the
Oh,
name
you're
can
there.
still stay.
You're on it, yeah, absolutely.
I like
agree.
it now, yeah.
The
I
name
prefer
Rave
it.
Trax was good for what we were doing, but it's probably got more of a shelf life than
Yeah.
Nrg Trax
Yeah.
has, for example.
Absolutely.
Strange thing is, well, it's not a coincidence or not, but since we changed the name, we've had Farmere bookings. I mean,
Yeah.
true,
Farmere.
A lot of people really don't like the word rave.
Yeah.
Rave.
That's so true, mate.
See the more I'm not going to say commercialized, but the more upper market like venues, because obviously they're seeing the hype that all this rave music's getting at the minute.
Yeah.
They want to hold raves, but
Without
they don't
calling
want
it
raves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, rave tracks maybe bring bad connotations. Do you know what I mean? It's all the things. When you think rave, the people who don't know us in our scene they think
Yeah.
1988 Summer of Love sort
Yeah.
of rave.
Or
off
Gabba.
you- yeah.
Or something. Yeah, you're totally right. But I think
So
I was like that, like, what kind of thinking? I was like, it was the reason we come up with the name Nrg Trax was because of you, because when we're making music, no, it's not got enough energy, we need to
Oh,
change
this
the
is
energy.
my shout.
Energy, and I was like, so I was like, that's obviously what we caught, but I was like, I don't want to say energy, I thought energy, kind of 90s feel, kind of old school.
yeah.
Because, like we've talked about before, and it's kind of like what we're doing is like new versions of older stuff.
Yeah.
Kinda. Do you get what I mean? Like,
It's like go
a
back to that
throwback
modern,
kinda.
go back to that modern clubland phrase, you know, like
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
listening to
Yeah.
other stuff, and even because with loads of new stuff to come out, it sounds like something. It will remind you of something.
Yeah.
But it's not a remix or a sample, it's like-
Rock the Party. It's I heard, and when the offbeat bass kicks in, I thought DJ Quicksilver sort of late 90s vibe.
It's actually based on Floor Filler Anthem 5.
yeah. You can see
because it's got the rap and it's got that
yeah.
offbeat bass. It's
Excellent.
like,
mate.
Yeah.
it's not a
that's
sample, it's not a
fucking-
remix. It's just that
love it.
vibe, do you know?
Yeah.
And it's emulating that, but you know, if you're listening to that kind of early 2000s stuff, it was all pressed to vinyl.
Yeah.
It's not like a real low
It's
end on
raw
it. So,
and like
yeah,
there's-
it's just capturing that essence.
it's more
you know?
like saturated as well.
Aye. Well, that's
know
the
what
thing. Now we use MP3s and WAV files, so
Yeah.
you can have actual subbases that you couldn't have when you had vinyl.
Yeah.
And everything's crystal clear highs and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's just like that. It's just like reminiscent of that type of music, but.
So when you just got that remix signed initially, when did you notice that fucking hell, this has got a bit of life in this?
Overnight.
Was it an overnight thing?
I think as well though, like the whole story of how quickly it was signed, it doesn't usually happen. So we're quite lucky because we're pals with like quite big DJs like David Ross, Will Atkins and stuff like that. These are really good pals of ours who are flying. So we can kind of ask them questions and get advice for them. Because what had happened is we sent him the tune and he agreed to, he's like, I love it, I'm going to play it. But now you do a private link on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
He played that a couple of times, but then there's more plays on it. I was like, that's what you can check, obviously.
Yeah.
So I checked, it was Ministry of Sound. I was like, remember? I was like, fucking hell.
That's right.
Then Airwave Paradise listened to it, then Dom Daw listened to it. So then it was all these A&R guys and from Ministry and Trick, and I was like, this is getting sent about all these guys.
Yeah.
So we didn't know it was getting signed, but we had a rough idea because of that. And then Top me emailed us and says, listen lads, they want Ministry and want to make this official and do a joint release.
Yeah.
So Ministry don't take all our Trick stuff, they only take the ones that they really like.
Yeah.
Like Shaq, that was a joint release with
Stuff that's got kind of commercial viability.
so we
about
get
it.
that, which is for your first release is mega. So I think we kind of knew that it could do something, and then we were lucky enough that Will was playing it at festivals, and so was that Rusty, Shugs. Who else was playing it, man? Like
That time.
Hannah.
Hannah was playing it.
Hannah's a
Hannah
good pal of
was
ours as well. She's mega now, so she was playing it.
Yeah.
Then Patrick was playing it, and people are getting videos. Who does this remix and stuff like that? And then he gets some good videos, like proper videos that done at DC10. I'm like, fucking hell, man.
No, this is
like,
it's
do you know what I
going
mean?
off. Yeah.
And then that was
Grown
it.
arms and legs.
And then it came out, and then it went right into the top 10 within 2 days. And I was like, fucking hell. And then it was number one by like
It was the end of that week, I think.
Class.
Yeah.
a week.
This is where I heard you as well. When you got the top 10, I was like,
Who are these guys?
yeah,
It was in the top 10.
We've had a
for
few
10
messages on
weeks, man.
Instagram because people suspected that we were perhaps maybe Chris Lake or James Hype or
trying
everybody
style.
thought it was
Yeah.
some tech house DJ that was trying to make like
Yeah,
Scouse
yeah.
House
Well,
almost.
We didn't tell him that it was us, like, even our mates. So see when we first started it was just it was like an alias, and it was just like a logo, no pictures of us.
This was kind of off the back of me because I was making like commercial tech house stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And Neil was a bit more keen about telling people, and I said, well, hold on. We're really popular, like, as individuals. A lot of people like us, they know us. I could fart into a microphone and release it, and they would probably still like it.
Yeah.
Let's put it out without telling them that it's us. And I mean, like, 5 people knew it was us.
Yeah.
Aye.
Because we didn't want people to like it because it was us. We wanted them to like it because it was good. Because we sat there and went, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Trick like it. These big DJs like it. This could
Aye.
be massive. But let's see
Funny,
just
man.
how massive it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know.
And it went well. And
People we know personally, like, really well, were messaging on SoundCloud, like, hi, you know, could we get a copy of this? And
Excellent.
We're laughing, we're like, we literally had a cup of tea with this guy last
Asked him
week.
to come to podcasts.
Yeah.
And then there was rumours that it was David Rust and Will Atkins, The Giver.
Yes.
And then there was rumours that it was Billy Gillies and something. And then there was all these rumours. And then we were like, let's wait to get signed. And then we go, here, guess what, this is us. And it was like, the amount of messages we got, like,
Scooby-Doo.
why did you not tell us,
Fun
man, and all that kind of thing. But it was the right thing to do at the time, because it builds hype.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, me and John done this with the Manic thing. So we did for our first release was Love Is Lost, and it's do you know Lost in Love by I'm gonna
Is that Lost in Love? Is that
no,
no.
it's that famous offbeat riff that
Oh, Legend B.
Legend
Legend,
yeah,
yeah,
so on.
it's got zero
I was thinking I was thinking that I didn't want to say it out loud. Is it like whatever? So we did a version of that, and we sent it off to a few different labels and stuff like that, and we just put Manic remix because we'd never done anything before. Sent it off, and then I had the complete flip side of you. When you were seeing people playing it, no one was opening the file, and I'm thinking because we sent it from like an email address that we just made up, and I was thinking because basically what happened was we'd seen the video of, do you know Ferry Causden when he done Goriella? So what he done was he got the vinyl made, I hope John doesn't mind me telling this, by the way. But he got the vinyl made, and he like scruffed it up and like put scratches and stuff on it, and like mailed it off to like labels, because obviously he was big with the Ferry Caused and things.
System F or whatever else.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it was System F Out the Blue. I've just told a lie there. It's because he'd done 2 different videos, and it was System F Out the Blue, and he posted it off to the label and just put a contact number, a PO box number, I think it was, on it. There's a thing. I'll leave a link in the comments for this. There's a whole video on it, and basically he didn't tell anyone who it was or what it was. He wanted somebody to hear it and be like, "I like that because I like the tune, not because of who made it." That's
See,
what we wanted.
and this is probably a good bit of advice for anybody that's making music. See if you know that something's good, and you'll know when it's good.
Yeah.
You know, you'll know when it's good. Don't tell anybody about a thing about it. It will stand out itself because it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and if it doesn't, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
You know.
I genuinely think so as well. But as I say, ours was opposite to yours. Like we sent it off to 3 or 4 DJs who we know, but we wanted a non-biased opinion, because I didn't want to mail them and they go,
There we
top
go.
tune.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I just want to hear it and what you genuinely think.
Or the worst case would be the opposite of that. That they didn't play it because it was you. You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
I think there's some people who have done that with us. They've been,
We've talked about this before. I say there's a thing like, I call it the X Factor syndrome. See, even you see these people in the X Factor, they're absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And their mates and their mums go, "You're fucking really good." go on national TV and fucking embarrass yourself. No, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what they should be saying is,
you need to work on that.
or
Yeah.
get a normal job. You,
Yeah.
you can't sing. So so if you send stuff to your mates, they might not want to say, "I don't
They
really
don't-
like
yeah.
that," or "It's not really for me."
People will be biased because they're friends
Do
with
you get what I mean? And it's kind of that
Exactly.
X Factor thing when you see these people making absolute idiots of themselves, like, and they're hyping you up, and really a bit of constructive feedback is what you're really wanting.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think there's a bit of that as well. And I think, like Ian says, if something's good, it'll stand out. We were just, I don't Ian will mind me saying this, like, that we've blew up quite quick, but it's a part of it is luck. We're just on at the right time to a degree.
Aye.
It's just a bit of luck and all. And you need
You
that.
either need to be the first or you need to be the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We were
Yeah.
the first.
I think we were one. Aye, and I think now, like, there's people that message us and they're saying, like, we use your tunes for reference tracks, which is a big thing for us, because guys that,
Wait till they find out it's mixed in the fucking Volkswagen Sirocco. They'll never use that again.
cut that bit out. Aye, so it's been good, man. Like, but like,
So
bad
you
luck.
you did that remix, right?
Yep.
And then, so are there, after that trick were open to listening to your originals?
Well,
did you have like a direct connection to the?
They don't
master?
tell you that, but
Yeah.
you know then that they are.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you can get in, anybody that's had any mild success with any record label will know that the minute you get in, you unleash the beast. And
Yeah.
you open up your bag of
Well, how
tricks and you
quickly
get
did
them all
they
in.
remix Listen to Rock the Party?
Yes, almost immediately.
Sent him it the Monday, no, it was a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and he'd listened to it by 7 o'clock and replied.
Right.
So I hope I'm not sending this guy down the river because he's not replying to people, but he's...
Well, no, they tell you, and by the
Oh,
way,
yeah, yeah,
there'll come a time where he'll listen to something else and he'll just say, "No, it's not for us."
Well, I sent him.
And that's fine.
I sent him the York remix, and he's played that. No downloaded it, so it's not like he's going to. He's probably something when he play, but I just sent him anyway. But he didn't play that.
I think people get too precious in their music.
They do, yeah. But it's because it's your art, isn't it? You can be so creative and
you can be your art without being too precious about it. Like
you're attached to it, though, aren't you? That's the thing. Like you're.
Yeah, I think there's producers though that
Move
don't-
on and
they-
do something else.
They don't share enough of their stuff, and it
Yeah.
can actually hold you back.
Yeah.
Like the reason that we're in the position we're in is because we've shared our music with as many DJs as possible that on a good platform that will play it, and you hope that there's a viral video or a fan video or they've got a video
Just
playing
timing,
it.
timing.
Aye,
is
like,
everything.
and I think
Yeah.
you can't be too precious, but you make
Yeah.
music for it to be played.
Yeah.
And I think there's
agree with
DJs. Do you get me? There's DJs that will, and producers, guys that we look up to and are inspiration to us, and that's what we're doing. Who don't share it. We have a lot of people, and we've emailed them want to send them this tune. I'll send it. I'm still
And they
waiting. Do you know what I mean? And it's like we get a buzz when we see guys like Patrick Tompkins playing your tunes to big like thousands of people.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Do you know
that's why you made it.
Yeah.
that's just as much a buzz as playing it yourself to people, man. For me, anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Like seeing guys like that playing it. So I think if you've got stuff, man, and it's good, send it out, man. Like, don't
Yeah.
just sit on it and kind of be precious about it because it's gonna hold you back.
I think sometimes that's what we're like, because we're like, we don't want it to get leaked, but at the same time you want it to get. So you send it to like the same 5 DJs.
Yeah, I know that's true.
That's what it
as
is.
well.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
definitely.
understand where you're coming from. Like,
Yeah.
So obviously you said before that it was Anthem 5 that inspired Rock the Party, but what was the story behind that? You started writing an original, and you think what was the idea behind it?
Well, Anthem number 5 inspired the finished version of
Right.
Rock the Party. Rock the Party originally started as a, I don't know, 30, 90 second loop or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember, you know Lagoon, Billy Gillis?
Yeah.
When that came out, so I started Rock the Party in my house before Neil and I were making music.
Yeah.
I heard Lagoon on a Sunday night. I put my son to bed and I was flicking through YouTube and I seen Billy Gillis, who I'd never heard of, believe it or not, at the time. This is like February of last year, maybe.
Yeah.
And this song Lagoon was kicking about. And I was like, Christ, man, this sounds like something I used to play 20 years ago.
It's quite Dutch sounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I sat and made a bit. I've got a video on my phone, I'll show you when we're finished. Sat and made a little bit, just a little loop on Ableton. I thought, how just deconstructed it. I like to deconstruct other people's songs.
Yeah.
How did they make this? It sounds amazing.
Makes you a better producer.
And it got stuck in a folder. And after the success of Don't Hurt Me Baby,
Yeah.
so me and Neil do a thing where every Tuesday I go to his house. We do it every Tuesday regardless.
We've not missed
We have
one.
a bit of dinner and we sit and make music. We just do it religiously.
Yeah.
Sometimes nothing comes out of it. Sometimes as you're about to hear some new stuff coming up in the next few weeks, there's a lot of good
Filters,
stuff
man.
comes out
Yeah,
to it. But
exciting.
it's good to be regimented and sit down.
Excellent.
So I said, look, I've got a bunch of stuff sitting here. Gonna
Should we have a
listen
look
to
through
it.
it and,
I said, I think it's all fucking trash, you know. So I'll go and make a cup of tea. And I can hear him going, no. And I can hear the next project, no. And I'm stunned. What the fuck is this fucking? I go, oh, I fucking hate that. And it was what is now Rock the Party.
Excellent.
I
Which was originally based on Lagoon,
So what the
but
fuck
to
you
get
do?
it into that extended thing with the rap and all that on
Yeah.
it, I mean, it was based on the floor filler stuff and
Right.
the end up, you know.
So how did Finch get onto it then?
There's a sample, the original Rock the Party version that was sent out to DJs, which some people will have heard parts of, and at least was a sample from a Moby record. It's called Body Rockin'.
Right.
There's an Olive Bosowski remix. It was made in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
And it's a direct lift for a loop in the middle. It was sent to Trick with that sample in it, and they came and said, look, where's the sample from? So we said, look, it's from this, and they basically said, there's not. If
yeah.
we even get a response, it's owned by Def Jam
do you know what I
Records.
mean?
Yeah.
If we get a response from them, it could be about a year down the line.
And
Yeah.
there was a
It
bit
could
of
be
hype.
thousands of pounds to clear it.
Yeah.
What he's want to do, and this is where Neil came in here. 'cause
So I'm good pals with Finchy. So we've always got to do a tune with him anyway.
Yeah.
Because I said, look, how cool would it be to get a tune with Finchy on Trick?
Yeah.
Because obviously Patrick loves the MCs and McKean and all that. So I was like, if we send him a tune that says Finchy on it, he'll listen. So there was a bit of hype about Rock the Party at this point. There was a good bit of hype about it.
yeah,
So,
people were like asking on TikTok videos and stuff. like, what is
another
this,
stuff,
you know?
man. Aye, so
Shaq did a big turn there. He was playing it everywhere.
See, I've knew Shaq for about 12 years as well. I used to DJ with Shaq in Digital Newcastle like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've sent him a lot of stuff. So Patrick's like, look, we can get this cleared for you, but it's going to take ages. And I was like, well, the hype will be away by then.
Yeah.
People forget about it. Because you know what it's like if a tune takes ages to release.
Yeah.
By the time it's out, nobody likes it because
It's
it's
moved on. Yeah.
100%.
Moved on.
So we're always going to do a tune with Finchy, and he liked that tune. So I just meant, look, can you do vocals for me for a tune for Trick? And he's like, when? And I was like, now.
Today.
He's like, can you do it in the next 4 hours? And he's like, yeah. He says, if we get this to Patrick by Tuesday morning, wasn't it?
I think it was Tuesday or the Wednesday morning.
He
yeah.
says it'll be out in end of January, which is a good time for music to come out end of January, start the year and all that. This was in December, wasn't it? He says, I can do it. So
Excellent.
he done it in his house. He put, I don't know, hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Do you remember that?
The box thing.
He put a cardboard box in his head because he's not treated his room properly yet, his studio. So he did the vocals we use. It's literally him with a cardboard box in his head.
I hope he's got a picture of that somewhere.
I'd love to see it. So
I've heard you did the second verse in that as well. You put it up on
unreal.
the-
We wish
yeah.
we had more time to do that. So
The second verse, I wish had been a lot. If we had more, see if we had another day on that,
Yeah.
done it.
I would have went back to him and said, "See that bit there? Make it twice as long,
we'll use it.
and that'll be the middle section of the record."
Yeah.
But we just ran out of
Aye,
time.
so he basically
I think
Finchy-
it's good as it is. I think it's got that real.
Works really
90s,
well, yeah.
I think his version's better, and everybody loves Finchy. He's relatable. He's been about it for years. I think it adds something to it that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
but there's no samples in it now, so it's a fully original. It's a fully original record now.
Yeah.
So Finchy was amazing. The guy's the best to do. Finchy's the best MC, I think, in most scenes. To be fair,
Yeah.
he's so professional and so good. So he done it in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sent us it over, and then we just had to remove all the other vocal and put that in. But it took longer than we thought it was going to take.
1 a.m. sitting at my kitchen table.
But it was worth it because obviously it's
I've
done
worked
really
with
well.
Finchy for a few years, and like different, whether it's like music projects or events or whatever, or even like anything like that. And I've always thought Finchy is a pro. He's
By
very
far,
efficient.
yes.
He's if you ask him, can you do this, and he can do it.
He's the
Like,
best, mate. One
the
of the best.
turnaround, fantastic.
He's one of the best, mate. Honestly, and he's been at the top of his game for
Yeah. There's a reason he's at the top of
yeah.
his game though, because he's a pro.
He's been doing it since he was 15, mate.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
he's
Like,
been on the pod. You know, I've had his life story. Mad. But it's great.
he's a head case, but a good head case.
Yeah. Oh, he's much calmer now. He's
Oh,
much
he is.
calmer, yeah,
Well, he was arrested in Glasgow. He used to do a lot of stuff for George and that every week, or every second week in Glasgow. So that's how I met him, was through... he used to play a club in the Tunnel in Glasgow, shut down now. He used to do that I think it was once a month with George and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
So that's how I got talking to him. And he loves Patrick Tom. It's one of his heroes.
Yeah.
So when I've messaged him saying, look,
You
do
could
you want to go and
potentially be
trick?
on
Do
this.
you know what I mean?
So what happened then? So you've sent it off, and did you say they got back to you near enough straight away?
So we sent. Well, this was the initial one was done, and then we had to do the new version, and then we sent it to Patrick the next day. But what Patrick had done, because I told him, I promised him we would do it by the deadline.
Yeah.
He went away and get the artwork done, got the release date sorted, and got his masterer, get it on standby, done all that for us. So we sent him it on the Tuesday. He listened to it, he's like, I fucking love it, this is amazing, it's better and all that. Sent us the artwork 2 days later, and then sent us a contract 2 days after that.
Excellent.
And that was it.
Excellent.
And that was it.
And then, did you notice things change when that came out? Because for me, that's when that was your stamp of like...
The Airwolf Paradise remix is just what it is. It's a remix.
Don't get me wrong when I want to say this, but you remix a tune, the remix will get forgotten unless you get something
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
All that
This
does
is an original.
That'll open a door for you, but
yeah,
it gets you a bit of dialogue with people.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that's all it can ever be.
The second
it's not your record, you know.
Important, the second tune's probably the most important.
If you have a bunch of stuff sitting, and this is again probably good producer advice, because advice I took on numerous occasions. If you can get somebody to listen to your remix, and there can't be a lot of producers that haven't done this, they'll do a remix, and then that's the doors open to get their original stuff.
People's ears.
People are. It's a sad state of affairs when they might not read your email, but that's just the music industry. They get so much stuff every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
if you do something that catches their attention, use that. You've got a short window to grab their attention.
Yeah.
Get a dialogue with these people and get your stuff in there. And if it's fully original,
I feel like Rock the Party gives you an identity as well.
It did.
Yeah, do you know
Totally
what I
agree
mean?
with that, man. Yeah, I think it's about a statement to make, because like Ian's nailed it. You get in there, you get in there with like doing a remix, and people hear who you are and stuff like that. But I think the second song you bring out, it needs to be better. It needs to that's the statement maker, and do you get what I mean? So
follow. Lewis Capaldi's going for it at the minute. He did the first record, and now everyone's like, has he got it, or was it just like a fluke? I just finished watching the documentary. That's why
I've not seen it yet. Don't give any spoilers.
It's really good.
I've seen enough clips to sort of get the gist of what he's talking about.
But the big question throughout is, was that just like...
Was that a one-hit wonder? Like,
it's not even one-hit wonder, because the full album absolutely banged, the first one. Is this a culmination of his life's work that's it? Is it going to take him another 14 years?
You can't beat that. It's like you've peaked very early.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's a bit of a shit analogy, but Tyson Fury, I've listened to a lot of his podcasts.
Yeah.
And he said after he beat Klitschko, he didn't want to box anymore, because he's done what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he's peaked, hasn't he?
Literally the champion of the world. He says, well, what else? That was his dream. He was a wee guy, and he's like, I've done it. So what is it to do? And that's how he ended up. Remember, he was like 19 stone, fucking, and then he was... So, get what I mean? So there is a bit of that, like obviously, if you've achieved what you want to achieve, it's harder to go again. But it's not the same for us, because this is the songs. But I think creating a full album of work, it must be fucking difficult.
I can't imagine how difficult. I've got no hair left to pull out, man. I'm just solid.
So we'll sort of like talk about gigs and that then. Since this has took off for you, what was are you getting people messaging you saying, I've seen what you said about.
We've got
What happened when the success and it started snowballing? What was the? I don't know how to word it really.
when it kind of transition from making music to becoming gigs and stuff.
Because you're now an artist. You're no longer DJs.
Do you know what? I would say this happened very quickly.
Yeah.
And I had mild success in my own previously.
Yeah.
With this kind of thing, like making kind of commercial house music.
Yeah.
And then getting gigs off the back of that and doing like sort of live mashup videos and things.
Check
like
out
that.
his Instagram every day. He does like that. Like, no,
It's all very old now, though.
no, you need to watch it though. He does routines.
Yeah.
Like James Hype kind of. He plays it down. The fucking class.
But what I noticed though, because this was like original stuff, this was, you're on the biggest label at the moment, you know, I mean, Trick's massive.
Yeah.
The gigs were coming very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, I gave up my Saturday residency.
Yeah.
I said to him at Christmas, I went, one of us needs to do it.
Yeah.
You
What
know?
was the thing where like the gig where you thought, yeah, it's fucking.
I know what you're
we're
going
on-
to say.
We're on to some area. What was the gig?
Galv.
Oh, galvanizers and SWG3. Like,
There's a place in Glasgow called
man.
SWG3. It's a massive event space.
Yeah.
And one of the rooms is called the Galvanizers.
fucking unreal.
You pretty much don't get to play the Galvanizers unless you're doing something that's pretty big.
Yeah.
And that was the point where I walked in and there's fucking pyrotechnics going off up to the ceiling and there's, what is it, 4,000 capacity or something, 3,000
I
capacity?
think the ones we were doing was like 3,000.
And it's just people as far as you can see. And that was the point where I went, oh my god, this is actually happening. I saw pictures of this place
Class.
and this is actually
That's
I
happening.
only
mad
heard of that
dream.
place today, coincidentally.
Yeah.
You should come,
Hannah
mate.
uploaded a mix.
Oh,
and
the YouTube? Yeah,
they've
yeah.
dropped the mic on into the crowd,
Yes.
and you can hear the crowd feedback on all the way through the mix.
If you're
What an
a DJ
atmosphere.
from Scotland at the moment, that's the
You should come next time. we're
that's
doing
the
it.
gig you
Come.
want to get on it.
If you give us a message, I'll come to the next one.
Yes.
We'll
Come,
use the
mate.
next one.
We were
You're not
lucky.
even that far away. It's like 2.5 hours drive from
It's
here.
not that bad,
Do you
honestly.
know what's mad? That was our third ever gig.
Yeah.
So the first one was.
See what I mean? It's like you go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
So our
almost.
first gig was closing after Ben Helmsley, and Ben actually said, "Look, I'd like to do a back to back." And like, "Yep." So we done that. First ever gig. Second gig was Manuka in Glasgow. It's a really nice club.
Yeah.
Then the third gig was the Galvanizers.
So what was the sort of turnout for that first gig you did, for instance?
It was
with
round.
Ben?
1,300 or something.
1,300,
Sold it.
and then you have got up to like a 3,000.
Yeah, and then our fourth
Excellent.
gig was Ministry of Sound.
Right, excellent. And
And
what
they
was
were
that like?
they were the same weekend. It was quite a strange gig, wasn't it? It was quite.
It's good. Ministry of
It's good
Sound
fun, obviously, but-
is quite a big tourist destination almost. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah. It is. It's
It's a very famous venue.
It's like when you see. This sounds awful, but when you see a lot of foreign people come here on holiday and they go to the Etihad to watch Manchester City or something along the lines of
That's
that.
exactly what it's like. So it was.
Yeah.
It was.
So I was going to Nou Camp, really into
Yeah,
it. you know?
yeah, exactly.
Ah, yeah, like got to a club in Magaluf or something,
Yeah.
like a pub crawl. But like it was. Again, we've got mates that have played there a lot. So
Yeah.
again, texting Will or texting Andy Rayside or texting Rusty on. We're playing the 103, was it? 103?
Yeah, the 103 room.
Oh, mate, quite a tough gig in there. It's good fun and it's a nice venue. You're up high and all that, it says, but I'd keep it very commercial if I was you, like sounding we did. So it was
Yeah.
kind of, some of the stuff was quite commercial anyway, so it was good. It was good.
I liked
Got to
I
close
liked
the room. It's a dream, mate. I've used to buy
It's not something that you get to do. See, unless you're out there making music, and it's never been easy to make music, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's also never been more difficult at the same time.
I think it's harder now than it was years ago for the simple reason of there's that many
Everybody's doing
people.
it.
It's like
100%.
DJing. If you
Yeah.
go try and get a residency in say your local town, there's 5 times more people looking to get that residency than there was before. Because
Yes.
before you had to have your equipment, you had to have the records, you had to have all that etc. that comes with it. Now you've got a hard drive full of tunes,
The same tunes as the
a
next guy.
controller,
Yeah.
turn up, bang, there you go.
Do you know they used to say that you're always 4 feet for a rat? Now 4 feet for a DJ.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean though?
Yeah. It's
Everywhere, like a plague.
No, but do you get what I mean though? Like,
Yeah.
it's 'cause-
Everyone's a DJ. Do you know what the DJ of today is, right? And this, it's not sexist at all, by the way. Is the DJ of today is the you see like on Instagram and that everyone claims to be a DJ. It's like women are makeup artists. It's always like so and so makeup artist, and now it's always so and so DJ.
Yeah.
It's like it's more of a social media statement than anything else. Do you know what I mean?
See, the thing is, right, and I spoke to Rob Keane about this in an interview I done with him, and
Yeah.
see if we were still in the era when you had to buy techniques and vinyl.
Yeah.
How many of these DJs wouldn't be DJs?
Oh, I know.
Do you get what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like £8 a record, £2,000 for a full setup. You can get a controller now for £100.
What about this then? What if now, right? It wasn't the Technics. You've got your controllers. You've got your CDJs. So you just plug and play. What if you got put in the corner of a room where no one could see you? There was no lights. How many people would be DJs?
You would lose it half, probably.
I can actually remember. So I worked as a resident in many venues, and you were a guy in a darkened corner
Yeah.
out the road from everybody. And I
You're-
can
you're a
tell you,
nerd,
I remember
fucking
the
hell,
day that I was working in a venue. It was quite a dimly lit DJ box, and the EDM stuff, Avicii, Alesso, Hardwell, was all kicking off, and they were on these brightly lit stages. And I walked back into the club, and these big fucking floodlights above me. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You'd have hated that.
Oh, I hated it. It took me a long time to adjust to that. I was like, oh my God. And that's the norm now.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you're a young person coming through DJing, you don't know any better than that.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at you.
Yeah.
But the idea of looking at the DJ is probably something that only came out in the early days of the EDM stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually,
That,
When they
I
became
only say that
superstars.
because my own residence at the time
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
whoa, you've got people looking at me now, you've got lights on me. I was like, what happened to my darkened cave that I was in before?
I remember my first residency. It was in a bar in Whitehaven, and it was the DJ booth was at the end of the bar. So
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
people
yeah.
come up to you and ask you for drinks
Yeah.
and shit. So like,
Speaking of which, can I
just
get
don't
one
know
of
any
them,
better. Do you know
please?
what I mean?
You're
So-
barman here.
So basically, there was a side panel here, and then there was like a glass bit where you could see onto the dance floor, obviously for reactions and stuff like that. And you're there playing away, and it was you were that hidden away that no one really cared about you. As far as they would know, you could probably.
There was
probably
music
had a-
on, but it could have been anybody, yeah.
Cheers, mate. But basically, when they used to put requests in, they used to give it to the woman at the bar, and she'd bring the request over. She was like, "Can you put this on?" So it's like
I used to have a notepad sat at the end of the DJ box, and I just let people scribble on it.
Yeah, that's what that was. It was like a notepad, yeah. And it was just one of them things where it's like, if you went to clubs now and that was the norm, how many people wouldn't be DJs? Like,
Yeah, you're so
because
right,
you haven't got the limelight on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But you need it now, though. I mean, to be.
Oh yeah,
And I would say
absolutely.
even not just for a DJ, I think
Yeah.
for a lot of things, even a painter and decorator, you know.
Yeah.
There's a plumber on TikTok that is a Scottish guy. He was a friend of a mate of mine.
Yeah.
Angry plumber?
No, the Fraser or something.
Oh, yeah.
The ginger haired guy. I mean, he's became like a massive star on TikTok. He's a
For
plumber,
plumbing, yeah.
right? I think that goes for any business, whether a DJ, a plumber, a hairdresser, whatever. If you've got a decent social media presence,
Oh, there's niches for everything.
there is,
Yeah.
and you
The thing is,
need to be out in the limelight now. do you know
I've
what I
been
mean?
flicking through TikTok, and I've started following this guy. In
In fact, even
particular.
for yourself, like 10 years ago, podcasts were still here,
Yeah.
but not to the extent they are
Not like they are
nowadays.
now.
I started a podcast years ago, and it didn't do anything because it was the nerds who were listening. It wasn't a normal.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing. It
It's
was
pure common now, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody listens to podcasts now.
Yeah. There's one on TikTok I've been following lately, and I'm getting obsessed with it. It's a weird obsession actually, but I'm sitting there and I watch all his videos. He's a crane operator.
Oh, no, the guy you mean?
Yeah, and he's like a day in the life of a crane operator, and he's
That sounds
basically
class.
like.
Oh, it's I'll show you when I
It's
get
so
out here.
good, and he's
fantastic.
like, so I've got my charger here, I've got my juice here.
How cool does
and
that
then he's like
tab
got his
look, though?
glass panel down there, so I can see the
Then
band.
he
He takes his
Yeah.
shoes off, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
wrecked, yeah.
And-
Oh,
It's
you watch this as well?
Yes, yes.
But it's like little things like that, and I'm just like, oh, this is such a niche thing, but clearly people enjoy
But
it.
it's something you'd never see before, probably, if it wasn't for this kind of TikTok or,
Yeah, yeah,
do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So,
So what have you? Before we move on to part two, what have you got coming up now? Then what's the future for
Well,
Nrg
do
Trax?
you know, so we've been doing a lot of gigs recently, with a little break, about 2 or 3 weekends in
March
March.
was empty, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Kinda.
And you're a fellow music producer, you know what this is like. We had a little bit of a brick wall. Don't Hurt Me Baby was a remix, but it was very quickly successful. Rock the Party was mental successful. It was bonkers how big it was. And kind of like we're talking about Lewis Capaldi, right? But not quite in the same level. We're no singer-songwriters here.
I know what you're gonna say.
But
Yeah,
it's the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You're trying to replicate that.
Do you feel like you? Because obviously you've
There's a lot of
produced music
pressure
for a
on
long
you.
time. Do you feel like it's a pressure you've never felt before in
Yes.
comparison?
By far.
Yes.
That is interesting.
There's a lot of stuff sitting there that, now that we've had a few weeks to sort of digest it, we'll listen back and go, actually, this is good stuff.
Do you not find
excited.
Do you know what
gigs
I mean?
like tonight where you could maybe test something out?
There's 2 getting tested tonight.
Right, and then you can just go, right, if that gets the reaction, we'll go for
We've
it.
done a
Yeah.
remix of, is it DJ Weirdo pumping that stupid bass, the old hardcore
Yeah.
song?
Hardcore thing.
I mean, he played it last Saturday in Falkirk, and I was like, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and it fucking wrecked the gaff, man.
That looked like a good venue, that.
Oh, mate,
it's,
what a
it's
gaff.
weirdly laid out.
Yeah.
So,
but really good, yeah.
I mean,
I was a resident in there
it's
for
a
a little
crazy,
while when it opened.
it's mad where it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like a big massive club in Falkirk. You'd think it'd be in Glasgow or something.
Yeah.
But that was a good. We were
It's
on
an excellent venue.
We were on 9 to 11. It was like there was about 800 people in by like half 9 or something.
There's been a
fucking
shift.
fantastic.
You've probably seen this, like, when we were going out, you would still be in the house at midnight
Yeah,
and you go out later.
yeah.
The young team, as I call them, you know, the people that are out now, 18 to 21, 25, whatever, are out early
Yeah.
and they're out for days. You know,
Especially
they'll go out on a
Stack City
Friday
gigs.
at 9
back to
p.m.
2008 again.
Exactly that, yeah.
That Stack City thing we do, mate. That's
Oh, it's
that's
mental.
one that's one of the reasons this music is evolving into this kind of modern clubland scouse. It's because of that guy Tom Muldoon.
Yeah.
We've got a really good relationship with him. He's booked us 5 times this year already, but this boy's putting on stupidly huge gigs himself, and he's spending a fortune in production. See the production this boy's got, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Because he
in any
knows.
gig.
People just don't want to go into a venue and listen to music.
But that's
they
why
want
he
to
does
video
it.
and see it.
TikTok. So all the videos on TikTok, it's all this massive production. So he's getting free advertising of all these people who go to these gigs. But that boy in his event is one of the reasons why I think like this music's, because he's playing all the old stuff. He plays like Beam versus Cyrus and plays Makina. He plays like trance.
I heard him playing Hyperlogic last night.
He's playing, honestly, mate.
So-
class.
I was talking with Josh Butler last week, and we talked about, do you know, Elro.
Yeah.
So obviously that it's so TikTokable. That's why it's so popular now.
That's
Well,
so true, by the way.
That's
That's
Yeah.
why
yeah.
people's productions level are going. They're going.
That's
right
such a
up
good
with-
shout, by it. Yeah, I totally agree with
But
it.
if you, I'm familiar with that sort of thing. I've been doing some housey bits for a while, and obviously that's sort of like one of the pinnacle sort of tech events.
Yeah.
So I was obviously having a flick through some of the after movies and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, look at the colours. It's larger than life. It's like if
Like inflatables and all that, innit?
if
Yeah.
something's advertising you to a dance music scene, electronic music scene, if you've seen that, you'd be like,
You want to go.
yeah, that's
I've
it.
been a few times.
As an
man.
outsider,
Do you know?
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do you
definitely.
remember Melee remixed
Beyonce?
Beyonce "Crazy in Love"?
That Beyonce track? What a
Yeah.
The reason I seen that
It's got
was he played it at an Elro festival.
Yeah, it's a
And
banger.
it wasn't
that, by
just
the way.
it wasn't just the tune that I thought that's a banger. It
Yeah.
was the production that caught my eye. I went, "Where's this?" And then the music was playing, and I was like, "This
Yeah.
looks mad."
Yeah,
Big brash colours
Yeah.
and people dancing on stage. This looks fucking mental.
I've been to a couple in Ibiza, man. It's class.
Been in one, aye.
See if you lose your pals, but it's murders. Like, where are you? I'm next to the zebra. it's murders,
I can
man.
see 16 zebras.
Aye, where are you, man? Oh, I'm at this giraffe. There's like people in stilts and all that. So
it is, but it's so
But that's what people want now.
pop
you know?
culture. It's like that's what people want to say. I've been there.
it's Instagrammable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's that.
It
Like,
needs to
all
be
these,
that.
all these restaurants now in it, and like people going there and taking pictures of
Yeah,
dinner and all that.
they
shit.
need it.
It's kind of similar to it.
Yeah.
Aye, it's good.
It's
though.
a sad state of affairs, but so it's such good free promo for these places.
Only if you don't understand it. There are businesses, not just nightclubs, bars, restaurants,
Everything,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
DIY shops, whatever. There are businesses who are failing because they're not engaging with people on social media,
Yeah.
and you need to grab their attention. If
Yeah.
you grab their attention and you pay attention to what the customer wants, they'll come back.
Yeah.
There's no question about
100%,
it.
man.
They'll
Yeah.
become loyal to you that quickly. They'll also disappear from you in the same
Oh,
snap of
absolutely.
the
Because there's
finger.
so
And that's
much
in any
choice
sort
in
of
it.
walk
So
so
much
much
choice.
choice.
If they don't like it, they will
They can
think
go-
with their feet and leave, you know.
Yeah.
100%.
Right, so we'll sort of move on to part 2 now, if that's okay.
He was actually when are we playing this club?
Half an hour, but we'll do it. We'll fly through this quickly.
11 o'clock?
What?
Is that
11 o'clock now, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Right, so we'll just quickly do part 2. We won't do the questions today. We'll do Flop or Bop, and we'll do
Oh,
How
I
long
like
does it
this.
take to get to the club from here?
5 minutes.
5 minutes if
Don't
that.
worry, man.
Are you panicking?
You next to get in before it. And
Aye,
Well,
I
no,
unwind
you'll
for
suck
half
a
an
couple
hour.
of tunes on that. So this is part 2 with Nrg Trax, and this is Flop or Bop.
I like this bit.
Have you seen this before?
I've seen it.
No, I haven't.
So basically, I'm going to just read out 5 tracks to you, and you tell me if the flop, if you wouldn't play them, if they're shit, or bop, if they're absolute bangers, right? So flop or bop with Nrg Trax. Vincent DeMoor, Flotation.
Bop, but
The Mr. Bishy remix.
oh, curveball. Okay.
Vincent DeBishy, have you heard that?
Yeah.
Class. I would say the Mr. Bishy one. I'd play that.
I always liked remember the BCD one.
Yeah,
Sampled
class
that,
tune, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Trance
Hopping
Drifts.
and bopping or whatever it's
Trance
called.
Drifts, Flotation.
There was K9 as well. Can you remember that one?
Yeah.
That was on
The Mr.
Tiny
Bishy
Tracks,
one's the
yeah.
best one, man. I played Die Bop then, definitely.
Kamisra, Let Me Show You.
Bop, easy. Everybody's playing
I
that
might
now.
play that tonight.
Do you like the Madison
Dance
Avenue? What was the
Who the
bootleg called?
hell are you?
No, there was a bootleg. There
No,
was
the bootleg from years ago.
Don't
on
Call
White
Me
Label.
Baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Lizard Commissioner one's one of my favourite ever bootlegs.
Yes.
Man. Unbelievable.
Was it Friday Night Posse?
No, I don't think it was. Don't know.
I can't remember who it was.
Bop.
Clubheads, Here We Go.
I would say Bop because
Bop,
yeah,
that.
I would say Bop.
Nah.
No.
Flop.
Flop for me.
Why is that?
Oh, here we go.
Nah, I'm not into that one.
I like it.
I love the riff. I love what they did with obviously stealing it from Dre.
Yeah.
I thought that's just
Nah, like compared to disco hop and club hop and
Oh, much better.
yeah, oh,
There's
yeah.
no denying
In
that.
comparison,
it is, I've played it. Do you know what I mean? But it's I don't know. I'm in the middle. It's not my favourite.
that was the first ever record I got, by the way.
Was it? Nice.
Is it coloured vinyl on it?
Yellow vinyl. Yeah. Suitable for you, lads. Scott Brown, Now Is the Time. Flop or Bop.
Absolute Bop. Played it last night.
Fuck, so we did. I'm quite rough today, vibe. I don't think I'm rough, so aye, Devil Bob. Scott Brown's a fucking the goat, man. Just this guy, man.
What's your favourite Scott Brown tune?
Inferno.
Fair enough. That's a proper. That was an outsider's one there.
Oh, that's a great question.
DJ Dale,
man.
isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Or Do What You Like, or there's loads, man. I could go on.
There's so many.
So many.
I think one thing about Scott, I'm not going to have to one thing about Scott Brown that I love is the fact he evolved from that hardcore and the bonkers stuff. Like, I wasn't a big fan of UK hardcore, but I liked his stuff. See, like, It's All About You and all that kind of stuff, and Neckbreaker, and This Is How We Do It. I loved all that. My favourite ever tune ever is a Scott Brown tune. See Q-Tex, Power of Love?
Yeah.
That's my favourite ever song.
Which version? The
original or the Italian boy one, but the original of that, the club one of that, is my favourite ever tune.
I love Scott Brown. I booked him down here, and honestly, what a fucking guy.
He's class, isn't he? He just loves getting on it.
What a guy. And the last one for today, this is a Marmite tune, this Strike You Should Do.
I like it. I would say Bop.
But I like the new one, that Borai one.
Bop.
Make Me, the new house mix.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that as well.
I love it. I love the piano in it. I think a lot of people don't like it. It sounds a bit cheesy, but fuck me, like when that piano drops in, class. And that's Flop or Bop for today. I hope you liked that. These are just what people have wrote in. So if you've got any that you would like to write and ask people, then go for it. There's, as I said, there's 1,000,001 tunes out there, but if you think there's a tune that might be a bit debatable, then send it in. Send it to our inbox at itstimetoriffresh. And this is a new feature. It's called Throwback Attack. So I'm going to ask you of times and places in your life, and you tell me a song that instantly comes to your head.
Okay.
So all right.
Yep.
So
of course.
So what song do you think of when you think back to primary school?
No Limit, Too Unlimited. Primary 7 disco.
Hadaway, What Is Love?
It's about the same time.
No, they're all,
Yeah.
all bitches, man.
Interesting.
Aye,
That is
Hadaway,
interesting.
man.
That. What song do you think of when you go back to secondary school?
Probably some happy hardcore thing. Shooting Star, Bang, Shooting Star.
Aye, or...
I can sort of gauge the years you grew up by the way, by what you said.
90s vibes, man.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Okay, it's a shout.
Or Rhythmic State, Soap in the Rope.
Yes.
Aye, that was always getting played in the tapes and all that.
What song do you think of when you think of when you got your first set of decks?
Bad Motherfucker, man. Energetic. It's a Scottish bouncy techno thing. Look it up on YouTube.
Off the top of my head,
I don't. So good.
I do listen to a lot of old bouncy techno and that in the car, but I don't go on Tune ID because it's not something I'd sort of play as such.
Mine's is, again, same label as a tune called System X, Play the Game.
Play the game.
Excellent.
Oh, mate, have you heard that?
It rings a bell, but I'm not going to say it, yeah.
Unreal, man. I'd say that definitely.
What song do you think of when you think of your first days of going out?
Oh, that's
Love
a tough
Shy.
one.
What was that? Electric Boutique or whatever?
Oh, the best mix, by the way.
That one.
Yeah. Christine Blonde.
Christine Blonde, yeah.
Love Shy. Electric Boutique
yeah,
remix.
there was
He's the
that
one
and,
every
like,
time.
Commercial trance stuff at the time. I can't remember what else.
Mine's would be. Do you remember the donk mix of Club? It was billed as Clubheads Larger Than Life, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
It was an American guy.
It's
was
Wayne G. It's
Yeah.
not Clubheads, but that. I remember going to that club Bonkers. It's the first time. That's the first song I heard. Like, this is fucking years ago, man. And it was just that big donk. What the fuck is this, man?
It's what I would call a polished turd, that. Because the original vocals on that, I hate it. But when I heard I think it was the Alex K version, possibly.
Wayne G done the proper old one.
Yeah.
And it was titled as Clubheads for ages. 'Cause why would it not be? But it wasn't them. It was an American guy called Wayne G. I'd definitely say that, because that's, like I was saying earlier on, like Noble would play all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was like an hour of solid, like kind of Dutch
That
house
stuff.
kind of stuff. So I'd definitely say that.
What song do you think of when you think of your golden era?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you know what? So I liked a lot of the EDM stuff. I would say Third Party Every Day of My Life, because I did a lot of really good gigs at the time, and that's one that sticks in my head.
Mine would probably be a Scouse tune, I think. I'm trying. Maximum Hustler, Like a Dream.
Oh, banger!
Tune.
Hey,
That would be mine.
that's a Mike Scala.
Yeah.
I would say that. I think that's probably the greatest Scouse tune ever made.
Do you think so?
Oh, that'd be,
It's a statement there.
I know. I think it is. Though.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it's like
I can.
the
I can see
riff, the singing, the bass line. It's not a donk. The wee rap. That's probably my Definitely.
And the last one for this section is: what song do you think of when you think of right here, right now, today? What is the song of the moment for you? It doesn't need. It could be here. It could be one of your own, because
You know what? I'm going to say Rock the Party by us, because...
Yeah, because why not?
It's why not, exactly.
When you look back at the year of...
When you look back at what we were doing before and where we are now, it's the one song that's really propelled us to where we are, so...
Yeah.
It's the
And it nearly went in the
soundtrack
bin.
to use Lots Life right now. Like, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's done. Listen, I'll be forever grateful to that song for the rest of my days, because...
It pushed us from... And I never like to think of DJing as a ladder, because I think that's unfair to think of it like
There is
that.
a hierarchy, though, isn't there?
Kind of, yeah. So I think it pushes from one level to the next.
Yeah.
What that level was, we don't know.
We
but-
were talking about this in the car. Like, I've never really travelled about. I've always just DJed in Glasgow. The odd gig about, but not really. And because of that song, I'm sitting here with you now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to Belfast in a couple of weeks, Newcastle, Bolton. We're being booked for Ibiza recently. Like, all that.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of that because of that. The aerial thing was a part of it, obviously, but the Rock the Parties, like, I'll be forever grateful to that song, to be honest. And I'm just glad he never deleted it. To be honest.
Nearly did.
Imagine it.
Delete it. So I'd say that's really definitely.
And we're going to do unpopular opinions. So this is what's on our... We've got like a Facebook community group.
Right.
And it's people writing their unpopular opinions about something. So the subject was daytime raves. Right?
Okay.
So this is from Christopher Jones. It's screwed up. In the club at 4 p.m, out by 10 p.m. Still go to Tesco Express and feel like it's 6 a.m. Just shows how the music gets you, and then your perception of time, lol. So, what do you think of daytime raves?
I think they're class.
I like them, man. Yeah.
There should be
The only
more
thing is, I'm
daytime
not a big drinker. So I end up pretty drunk at like 9 p.m. But I think it's later.
Have you noticed he's been
Kind
asking
of
for the
agree with
beers
what Chris
today?
is
It's
saying.
been him.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll be blazing in like an hour's time.
Drunk
so,
Gebble's good
yeah.
though, I like Drunk Gebble. See what I'd say about that as well, as though Annie Mac does a thing called Home at Midnight or something, and it's like 7 till 12, and it's aimed at like an older demographic,
yeah.
which I think's class, because you're getting to enjoy the whole club, and it's like she does full club decor, but it finishes at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. I like the
it.
idea of daytime raves because I obviously got gigs and stuff like that. Like last week, I was playing through at Carlisle for Sanctuary. I was on last,
Okay.
which was 3 till 4 or 4 till 5. I don't know. I can't remember. And I actually had a tactical nap before I headed through.
You need to, man.
Danger on that.
And I was still knackered the day after.
Your body
So
clocks,
it writes off your weekend especially if you go for the full duration as well. Like,
Yeah.
whoa. So now I need to meticulously plan what I do with everything.
Yeah.
But a daytime rave, I would go to that, not a problem, and I would still feel great the day after.
But do you know what as well though? I love daytime drinking. I love going to the pub during the day. See if that was to pick between going to a club now or going to a wee old man's pub and putting a coupon on and sitting having a beer, I would pick that all day long. We were talking about yesterday.
Coupon, football match, yeah.
I just sit and watch Super Saturday all day. I'm into that, man. Definitely.
And this is questions. So someone put, other than Donk, do you produce any other styles of music? Smashing the podcast, mate. Catching up from the beginning after recently discovering it a month ago. So that's from Lee Jenkinson. So you've sort of talked about this in your podcast. You have touched on doing the sort of housey bits and stuff like that. So I'll sort of try and rephrase it. Then, do you think that Nrg Trax is going to go in different directions?
Well, we've been DJing a long time, and sometimes in the same venue, following different types of music. So I suppose it will go where the music goes. You know,
you threw a curveball when you released the
York thing.
No, not that. The mix on SoundCloud, the hardcore one.
Yeah.
So it was a bit like, so
that was we're going to do. That's going to be a mixed series. So it's going to be hardcore energy, old school energy, house energy.
There you go. Yeah.
Trance energy. We're going to just do ones that
different styles,
because we want people to know that we're not just people that play 140 donk or 140 offbeat bassline tunes.
Mixture of stuff.
We can play everything. We're cultured DJs. I've done it a long time. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people probably don't know that.
Yeah.
Or mates do, people in Glasgow do, but people
beyond
because people are showing an interest in us now from out with. We're in Cumbria now. Do you know what I mean? These kind of places. So it's kind of to let people know that we don't.
Who you are and what you're about.
Exactly that.
Yeah. So what I do is with everyone when I tie this up today, I'm going to say you're getting the electric chair because you have been dickheads and done something wrong. Brought the penalty back just for yous, and you've got one more meal. You can have a starter, main, dessert, and a bevy to wash it down with. What he's having.
Starter. I'll keep it simple with a soup, man.
What soup?
A soup man. That's like a shite superhero. A soup man.
Give me chicken and rice, man. Go for it.
Right.
What? What we said, mains.
That's a proper Scottish soup, by the way.
My mum used to make it.
Yeah.
So.
My stepdad's it's always a chicken and rice soup, like.
Mains, God, burgers every time, man. I love a burger.
You do?
What do you have on it?
Everything, mate. Everything possible.
He does, he like
salad, cheese, I love it. Stack it up.
Dessert?
Chocolate cake every time, mate.
Nice. What are you going to wash it down with?
A beer.
Okay. So Moretti? Do you go Moretti? Yeah. Go what you having?
I'd probably try heroin.
For a starter.
Well, I'm going to die.
Oh,
Anyways,
you're going to
I'm going to die, so I'd probably do something like that. I'll try acid.
That's the most Scottish answer.
Try acid or something. No, starter I would have scallops, chorizo, main steak pie and chips.
Oh,
I love steak pie, man.
Yeah.
Or a carvery.
Yeah.
And dessert. I like a Victoria sponge, man.
A good one.
The nice cream. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Not
it needs
that
to be a
cheap
good
shit.
one.
Yeah, I'd say that. And to drink, Jack Daniels and Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the only one who said heroin for a starter.
Yeah.
So, ever. So,
But do you know why I said that though? Because we were talking about something similar, not the electric chair, but if you died, now what would you? If you're like a week to live,
yeah, you
would try things you do, and
that's what this originally was. The original question was, it would be if you had a bucket list of things you want to do. But I just thought keep it to food, and then you can
listen. Taking heroin is not my bucket list, but I'm just like, I was joking, everybody. We were talking in the group chat. Will said something similar as well. He was probably like, we were just talking about like, if you had a week to live, what would you do? Kind of thing. It was like, would you just jump off a cliff or jump off a building? Or like,
heroin.
It must be quite good.
Yeah.
Partly it's Moorish. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. Not as Moorish as World of Warcraft though.
Or steak pies.
But yeah, I said my starter would be just a bag of edibles, just so you fucking so you like
why not?
Turn right out and then you just have a steak pie when you have to wash it down. But yeah, before you go today, I've got you a little something. Just to enjoy your night with. Yeah.
Hey!
Fucking yes,
There you
man.
go,
Thank
bottle
you
of
so
bookie.
much,
Thank
mate.
you, mate.
You having some?
Yes, of course.
What a guy.
Yeah, no, it's no
Thank you
worries,
so
it's no
much.
worries whatsoever.
Thank you, mate.
I couldn't have you come on here, travel down from Glasgow and have a bottle
Try
of
not
vodka.
let us have that in the club.
What's that?
Well, let us have it in the club.
Why not? You're playing. I don't understand why not.
Let's see.
There's even a fridge in the DJ booth.
Nice.
Yeah, you need to have it cold,
Right,
man.
so we're just going to sign off today. I just want to say thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Mate, this has been,
blast,
I've really enjoyed it, mate. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. I appreciate it, man.
mate. Where can people find you?
On Instagram,
TikTok.
Facebook, TikTok, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you search Nrg Trax, it's Nrg Trax Trax. Yeah.
Not
Find
Rave
us.
Tracks.
No.
Rave Trax, no.
Shout out
more.
Alan Fitzpatrick.
Right, yeah. I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have enjoyed it, you can support the podcast by signing up on Patreon at patreon.com/itstimetoriffresh. For as little as £3 a month, you get little exclusive episodes that's behind the Patreon paywall. You get free music, DJ mixes, and you get to hear about early access. So people who get it will get it on a Friday instead of a Monday. And yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been absolutely
Class,
fantastic.
man. I really enjoyed it, man.
I'll see you later.